This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're gonna acknowledge me.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the SmackDown review. Thank you very much for tuning in once again. It is Daniel doing a second episode of the SmackDown review. I'm filling in for Amanda for the next 3 weeks, so I've got one more after this. But if you do enjoy the episodes, feel free to check out my main event stuff as well. I post main event shows every single week talking about the main event matches and also snippets on Raw and SmackDown too, while also providing PLE previews and reviews as well to top onto that main event episode. And yeah, we've got John Cena's final match, which I think probably at the time of this recording has been concluded, but I haven't watched it yet. So I'm going to jump on that as soon as I finish recording this episode. Obviously just been busy with life and everything else, but I'll be reviewing that Saturday night's main event on my main event review as well, so be sure to check that out. I think they'll come out on a Tuesday morning for you guys. So yeah, looking forward to doing that, and also putting out some content for you there for main event as well. But this is the SmackDown review. Not too much to get through today. I don't think this SmackDown was groundbreaking with anything amazing. We finished up with a Terror Twin versus Aleister Black and Zelina Vega to end the show, but nothing crazy. I think it was a very subtle SmackDown to get prepared for what will be John Cena's final match. Nothing that really followed that storyline either. So yeah, we'll go through it. We'll start with Cody Rhodes, who came into the ring basically saying that he wanted to talk about Drew McIntyre. He said that Drew claimed that it was unsafe working environment. We obviously had Nick Aldis before this, before I forget, talking about the fact that Drew McIntyre didn't want to come into SmackDown based on Nick Aldis's tweet, basically saying it is unsafe. But yeah, Nick Aldis did this on Twitter or on X, basically saying for Drew McIntyre to come back to SmackDown and talk about it. But yeah, Cody Rhodes just went and spoke about this. Got upset at the fact that Drew's claiming that it's an unsafe environment, which is quite funny, to be honest. Drew just continues to just be amazing on the microphone as well. He basically said that he nearly snatched him bold, and he's talking about how Drew isn't up early doing press conferences and claimed that Drew's only half in, and that's why he doesn't sweat him. Cody also said if he was Drew's boss, he would fire him, but said he can't fire him, but he can whoop his ass. And as he was continuing to talk about Drew McIntyre, we had the person he's actually going to be facing at Saturday night's main event, Femi, making his entrance into the ring, cutting out a pretty decent promo, basically saying that, said that Cody Rhodes is all fired up tonight, but is worried about the wrong man. He said that Cody is worried about Drew, but Drew is not here. He also said that the NXT champion is in the building tonight, introduced himself as the ruler, the destroyer, the bringer of war, and the mountain you cannot climb or conquer. He also reminded Cody that they're facing off at Saturday night's main event, which I think Cody really needed to focus on, and said that he's going to knock on Cody's front door and tell him that the future is now, it's here, and is now Femi. And basically Cody replied saying that he's glad Oba looks up to John Cena like Cody does, and that he's the man who beat John Cena for the championship, and that's where they both flexed their titles and stared off at each other, just to pretty much hype Saturday night's main event match. I did predict that Cody Rhodes will win this match, but now that I've seen what Drew McIntyre has done in this promo, I kind of think that Drew McIntyre is going to have something to say when it comes to Saturday night's main event. Whether he interferes the match and helps Oba win, I'm not too sure, but because we haven't seen him on SmackDown, we should be seeing him on Saturday night's main event. It would make the most sense there. But then we have Ilya Dragunov backstage with Nathan Fraser and Axiom telling Ilya if DIY tries anything, he's got Ilya's back. He said that he appreciates it but doesn't want it. Basically, he said he wants to carry the US title with honor, and said that Ciampa has spat on everything the title means in the last couple of weeks. Again, mentioning John Cena, which I feel like was the trend on this SmackDown, since he's the one that started the Open Challenge. He has never backed down from a fight. So basically, Ilya calls out Ciampa, and Ciampa finally gets his match. Now, he probably didn't necessarily earn, but he found a way to really piss Ilya off. Again, I like the fact that Ilya is a fighting champion and we are having these US title matches, but it just feels like rinse and repeat with him. The fact that he wants to fight with honor and defeat everyone. But yeah, I think the only thing that we're getting from this sort of run is the fact that he's defending it every single week with honor, which you can sit there and say it's good, but we haven't really seen him connect with the fans on a bit of a promo perspective or having like a massive feud that would make this more interesting. That's something that I'd really want to see. But the match itself was actually really, really good. We had Ilya Dragunov getting busted wide open in the face, and you could see him bleeding out of his mouth. And the match pretty much finished up with Ilya taking the victory after 18 minutes. And how it finished was that Ciampa did hit him with a German suplex. Then he popped right up straight away, Ilya in that, and hit a Torpedo Moscow headbutt, knocked Ciampa down. Johnny Gargano tried to distract the referee. Candice LeRae did a neck snap on Ilya, and then Ciampa hit his knee smash, which got kicked out. And then as that happened, Ilya then countered Ciampa and got the victory for a pinfall. So it was a bit of a conniving victory. The distraction from Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae went really wrong, and essentially that's why Ilya counted and got the victory. But after the match, they went and attacked Dragunov, and that's where Carmelo Hayes made the save, knocked Ciampa out the ring, hit the springboard clothesline on Gargano, and the fans were cheering for Carmelo Hayes, and I think a lot of people want to see Carmelo Hayes have the belt. So yeah, he picked up Ilya, showed him support, but it looks as though that Carmelo Hayes is not done with going for the US title. So we may see Hayes go for it again. I really would love to see Carmelo Hayes with the US title. I feel like he would suit it a lot, and it'd be a great step in his young career. And it seems as though the fans are gravitating towards him and really want to push him as a babyface, which I kind of like his heel persona of being someone that is cocky and arrogant. But at the same time, if he's getting heat from the fans, then I'm not going to go against the fact that he's a babyface. He's a really good in-ring performer, and I think he's got the personality. So I wouldn't mind seeing a US title on him. I do know that Tama Tonga has been around and chasing that title, so we may see something between those two before that. But I think the likely person to take the title off Dragunov would be Carmelo Hayes, in my opinion, as well. We then had a backstage segment with Javon Evans saying that he's excited about having a match at Saturday night's main event. And then The Miz basically came on, complained about Evans being on the card and not him. He pointed out that Evans wasn't even alive when John Cena debuted, which is quite crazy. Javon Evans is so young and has been just killing it on NXT and even his stints on WWE. Then Evans calls The Miz Unk and said that he's not his Unk. That was quite funny. And then Evans then told The Miz that he had 2 chances and lost. He also claimed that, Miz claimed that the wrestlers they're on a level that Evans doesn't know. And then they basically set up a match, and Miz said he talked to Nick Aldis and basically threatened him to say that he won't be able to make it to Saturday night's main event after this. So we have a match against Javon Evans and The Miz on SmackDown later on, which we'll obviously talk about as well. We then had the Wyatt Six come out with Uncle Howdy, and he basically sat in the ring with the rocking chair, said that Solo may not have the power to look within himself, but they do. Howdy also said that the reality is that Solo's real family all turned his back on him, which is very true. He also said that Solo uses and abuses those who he claims to love. He said that he's disillusioned and he's out of mind. He also mentioned that he's delusional because the MFTs run SmackDown. Howdy also said that the MFTs run nothing while the Wyatt Six have the tag team titles, and said if Solo and his family tree want the titles, come and get them. And Solo's music played, but then he was actually appearing backstage, so he didn't come out. He was with the MFTs and basically said that did they think they were going to show up on their terms? He said it doesn't work like that. Solo said he's calling the shots. He told them that he's going to do things his way, and he said that next week they're going to come for the tag team titles. So if you don't give the tag team titles, then all Bo Dallas can do, or Uncle Howdy can do, is run. And that was a really good one. It was another tribute to Bray Wyatt. And I do like the fact that they're having promos between each other. Something different to what we've normally seen. So I think it's good to see. You could say that Bo Dallas's promo didn't really have much there, but it was a call out to Solo. So I kind of liked it nevertheless. And I think that I'm excited for that feud between the two. I think it's going to be a great feud. I am interested to see how, again, I mentioned this last week, how the Wyatt Six will go with basically being 4v5 if you don't count Nikki Cross being involved in the match too. But it's a very good feud at the moment for the tag team titles, and it's something that I think has been needed for a long time. Just two big faction groups just going at it against each other. We then have Alexa Bliss taking on Lash Legend, and this was a massive surprise. They gave the victory to Lash Legend, which is massive. They're really trying to push Lash Legend over, which is great. And how sort of the match finished was that Bliss went for a DDT, but basically Lash caught her and hit her with the Lash extension, where basically it's a nice finishing move, to be honest. But yeah, it was a great counter. And it only went for 4 minutes, which made it more significant. We obviously had Flair and Nia Jax on the floor, essentially attacking each other there, and then Lash hitting the pump kick on Flair. And that's when we did see, the counter move there. So I think Lash Legend is new. They really want to push her forward. And she's shown great strengths and was really good in the ring. She held up on her own. And I think she's someone that, like, again, I'll say it again, has more talent and potential than Jade Cargill, if I'm being quite honest. So I'm excited to see how Nia Jackson and Lash Legend go together, if they do win the titles, if they just continue to just be a tag team going forward, because I think it's doing a lot for Nia Jax, but it's also doing more for Lash Legend, and putting her over just seems like it's been great as well. We then have the match between The Miz and Javon Evans. We had Javon Evans getting the victory with the OG cutter after 9 minutes as well. This would have to be the biggest win in Javon Evans' career. Definitely defeating a WWE superstar is huge, but it makes sense as to why he did win, given the fact that he's going to be fighting up against AJ Styles and Dragon Lee at Saturday night's main event with Leon Slater there. So giving Javon Evans the much needed momentum was probably something that was really important, but also makes sense. And I respect The Miz just continuing to be able to put guys over. I think that's such an underrated thing of The Miz. Is he's always been able to just put the young and upcoming stars over. He did it with Daniel Bryan. He's done it here with Javon Evans, and he's done it on multiple occasions as well. And, Miz looks still pretty decent in the ring. Like, we know he's probably not going to win a match, but again, it's just great to see that he's still got it, and I think he's widely respected across WWE fans as well, and he just does a really good job as a heel. Like, his best work is as a heel. Don't really love him as a babyface. I've just always loved him as a heel. But again, Javon Evans continues just to make strides, and it's not going to be long till we see him on the main roster, especially with his athletic ability, his energy, his young potential, and I think he's going to do a lot of big things in the WWE space. And he's only 21 years old, which is quite crazy. Like, it's hard to believe he's that young as well. We then move on to Rhea Ripley being shown backstage. That's where Nia Jax and Lash Legend trash talk her. She said that she is the problem that they don't want to have. She also said that if she and Rhea Sky want the tag team titles, they'll have to battle against, Nia Jackson Lash Legend, so they're going to be gone for the titles as well, as mentioned before. And then we had Damian Priest walking up to Ripley saying that he liked her energy, but told her to take it easy before their match. And then that's where we saw Jade Cargill come out of nowhere, walked up to Rhea Ripley with the women's title, stared, and just walked out for the match as well, which was quite cool. Could we see Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill go at each other? I don't know. I do say it's cool to see that sort of interaction, but at the same time, I still don't think Jade Cargill is ready. We did have Michin basically about to do a promo, and as she was, basically said that she'll be giving everything that she has. It was quite a really cringe promo, but I guess it made sense why it was done later, because we had Jade beating up Michin backstage and throwing her into the wall. She obviously didn't get ready for the match based on her outfit, and that's where she called for her music, making her entrance, and then basically saying that this is what happens when women don't know their place, and said that anyone who steps up can get stepped on because she's that B word. I do like that she's using that catchphrase. At least there's something that you can linger onto. But again, she still fails to get a massive crowd reaction. But Michin comes out with a kendo stick. Obviously getting hit into the wall isn't going to rule Michin out. Let's be honest. Sometimes it has in the past, but at this point it didn't. She hit Jade a few times with the kendo stick. And then Michin went for a table under the ring, but Jade hit the pump kick. Pushed the table under the ring. Some very good heel heat there. I like that she did that. And then she went back into the ring and hit the chokeslam on Michin. And basically sending another matchup that she is dominating here. And she's looking for a challenger. And it looks as though the most appropriate challenger would be Tiffany Stratton. I think that makes the most sense for Jade Cargill here, given that I think no one else in the locker room really stands a chance. So we might see Tiffany Stratton come back. They're obviously both advertised for WrestleMania. So there's a lot of women advertised for that one. And I'm interested to see how they sort of set up the matches for next year. Like, I don't actually really know who's going to be champion and who's actually going to be competing for the titles, which is something that I do admire. And yeah, I'm excited to see where the storyline goes. Can Jade Cargill continue to build up her sort of support and her heel run? Because again, it hasn't been too good, let's be honest. Like, she didn't get a match today. We can obviously see that it's her showing that she's a dominant force and whatnot, but I think the reality is that she's not really ready for long withstanding combat matches yet. And it's a bit concerning if that is your women's champion. And even she's not even confident to have long enough promos, which is also concerning too. We want to see her character be more relatable to us. We want to connect with it, even on a negative or positive outspin. We really want to just see that. So, again, I think Jade Cargill's got a lot of work, or else they're going to have to drop the title if she's not really doing anything here. And then we have the main event, which was Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley taking on Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. We had the Terror Twins getting the victory after 9 minutes. A quite short match, and again, underwhelming, I guess, main event with Rhea Ripley hitting the Riptide on Vega. Let's be honest, Rhea Ripley is simply a mismatch when it comes to Zelina Vega anyway, so her dominating and defeating Vega made the most sense. But what does it do with this feud? Like, we obviously have Damian Priest and Aleister Black continuing this feud, but I don't know when the payoff is, and I'm sort of getting tired of it because this match doesn't really do anything to sort of fix the feud. Like, we're going to obviously see Damian Priest and Aleister Black fighting again, and they're going to need to because no one pinned anyone. So, yeah, I don't know what's happening here. It feels as though it's a bit of a filler sort of feud to go up to WrestleMania. But again, I've made sort of claims and basically mentioned what I thought about Damian Priest and what they're doing with him at the moment. And even Aleister Black isn't really doing too much on that side. But honestly, there wasn't anything groundbreaking. The match between Ilya Dragunov and Tommaso Ciampa was probably the best match. It was such a great wrestling display from the two stars. Again, I think that's what's good about Ilya Dragunov. He continues to fight and put on matches, but again, connection with the fans I think is key for him. And the same thing with Jade Cargill as well. And also even with Aleister Black and stuff, I think they do a good job, but they're not even going into the ring and doing much promo work either. It's a lot of backstage stuff. Like, this match didn't like move the needle in any way as well. And for a main event, it was just quite underwhelming. I think it was cool to see, obviously, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest back together, but it just didn't change the rivalry. I think the feud's going to continue going forward. It just would make the most sense given that they haven't pinned anyone there. But yeah, it's been a nice, quick SmackDown review. Thanks very much for listening in today. We're all going to be really excited about John Cena's final match. I think it's going to be really emotional for me, given that it is his final match. I do suspect that he will lose. I just don't know how they're going to do it, to be honest. I'm interested to see how they will do it. Will John Cena give up on his final match? Or will they keep that forever, that he will never give up? We'll have to wait and see. But again, it's been your boy Daniel. You've listened to this episode of the SmackDown review. I'll catch you guys in a couple of days with the main event and Saturday night's main events review as well. But until then, thanks for listening in, and hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and enjoy Saturday night's main event and John Cena's final ever match. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.